There are really three main areas that we think are important for an uplift program. And the three pieces are inner agility, outer agility, and communities that actually practice together. And so, first of all, when I talk about inner agility, what I'm talking about is people's capability to be in a volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world without reverting back to the old strategies that no longer work. Because that's what happens, right? You've heard the phrase maybe when we're stressed, we regress, right? And what this age is asking us to do, this era that we're in, is to keep our center even when we're stressed. Keep our mind's executive functions online so that we can then come up with novel ideas and actually meet the moment instead of sort of just doing what we know we've done before, even though it might not work as well in this new era. So basically, what we're talking about here are 4 levels of adult development that are all in the workplace together at the same time. And so it's useful for us to understand what level of adult development or complexity Agile comes from, and what level the people we are trying to uplift are coming from, but first, where you're coming from, right? So each of these levels of adult development, which is about a person, it's about a team, it's about an organization, it's about a whole society, you can apply it at all those levels. Each of these has a healthy and an unhealthy expression. So, Amber is about performance-driven. You got it, right? So this is literally the way people think when they are primarily organized around the Amber level of adult development. They think there is a capital T truth. And if we just create the right process, we're going to get to the end and see that truth come true every single time. So you think about it, like these are people who are fairly black and white thinkers, right? And now let's touch into the goodness and the usefulness of this level of adult development. So it's called Truth Force. That's a little short name for this level, because there is duty and honor in doing your part. So what's the upside of Amber? Just think about it for yourself. Confidence. Yeah, I know what to do. I've been told. I do it. And my confidence comes from mastering the thing I've been told to do, and I master it by doing it over and over and over again. Yeah, totally. What else? Structure. Yeah. I know how I fit in the structure. In fact, if my boss leaves, there's a good chance that I'm going to go up into that slot. Now, in our modern world, there are a couple big downsides to this one. What are some of the downsides of an Amber way of thinking? Yeah, she says they're change resistant. They're not capable, right? I mean, obviously everyone's capable of change, but if you think about people thinking that they have to change, people organized at Amber are like, I don't have to change. In fact, that's a crazy notion. What else is a downside of Amber? You can think about it at an organizational level as well. Innovating, lack of flexibility, reacting. In fact, you know you're in a really unhealthy Amber when there's so much bureaucracy that you can't get anything done, right? Yeah. So orange is results-driven. Yes, it's results-driven. Show me the money. The short name for this one is strive, drive. Yeah, constantly striving for the next thing. This is where the certifications industry matches perfectly, right? Like if I get that next certification, then I will have arrived. So you can already feel, like the way I'm talking, like this has a lot of competition in it, doesn't it? And that competition can be a very healthy expression, or it can go too far, right? So it is about individual results. So what do you think orange is really, really good at? Action. Taking any kind of action. And what Gatesy said earlier, innovation. Yeah. Responsiveness. Breaking the mold. Absolutely. Because it's essentially about outer achievement, like getting market share, having the new coolest thing on the, that everyone wants to buy, all that sort of stuff, right? Now, orange is where the Agile Manifesto really starts to come online and make sense. Specifically, that little phrase in the Agile Manifesto that says, working product over comprehensive documentation. You know why? People don't buy comprehensive documentation. They buy working product, right? And so this is where we start to see, oh, there's a little bit of a match for agility here. So, the downside of orange. Overly competitive, yeah, that's the unhealthy expression. What's another downside of orange that you've experienced? High pressure, oh yeah. Strive, drive, strive, drive, strive, drive. We never get to rest. We never get to rest, right? And that's actually not how human beings work. Another downside is that relationships become quite transactional. And so we sort of lose our connection with each other. Now, orange is really good at taking in anything it thinks will help. Now, for Agile to work in an organization at all, there has to be at least a little pocket of green, because the Agile mojo, the belief system, comes from this level of adult development. People organized at green are able to see the situations more holistically. They're able to take in more competing perspectives. They're able to deal with ambiguity without freaking out, right? So green is? You saw this coming, didn't you? Because the downside of unhealthy orange is that relationships become transactional, that at the end of all this striving, people are like, I've got all of these things, but I don't actually have healthy relationships. Also, what's happened in business is that we started to get connected globally. And so when we started working with people all over the globe, we were like, wow, there's a lot of differences between us, but fundamentally we're not different. Because at Green, we don't just talk about diversity. Green wants it. Because the other thing that happened during this period of time is that our problems got more complex. So we're now in one globally connected financial system. A problem here creates a problem everywhere, right? So that's an amount of complication and complexity that no one with a good idea can figure out how to work in. We need people with different perspectives. So collaboration is genuine. We welcome a diversity of ideas and a diversity of people because we need those different perspectives. Green sounds good on the face of it, but it has an unhealthy aspect that comes up really fast. What's one unhealthy aspect? Lack of decision. Oh, look, everyone's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, lack of decision making, absolutely. Yeah, we're all sitting around, hearing each other, we're getting lots of perspectives. It's really hard to move off the dime, isn't it? What's another downside or unhealthy version of green that you've experienced? Too worried about upsetting people, absolutely. So that's not exactly what this level of adult development was going for, but it is a downside of it. And people who study this tell us we're moving through green faster than any other previous level because we're doing one thing from an adult development perspective at green. We are picking up a multiple perspective view. So as soon as we as adults can start taking in lots of different perspectives and we can start to relax our own agenda and actually hear the different ideas and actually occupy them, see the goodness of them, then we'll move from green into teal. Teal is? Impact-driven. Aha! So it's the idea that I want to make an impact in the world. Think about the millennials and the Gen Zers in your life. I have come here for a purpose, and I am going to find people and organizations that are aligned with that. And when the alignment is no longer there, no harm, no foul. I'll move on to the next one, right? So the idea of teal, even from an organizational perspective, is that organizations are more like living systems. So teal is the first level, and when I say coming to a theater near you, it's not here in big quantities yet. But the Agile belief system and mindset absolutely comes from this level of adult development, both green and teal. In teal, the responding to change over following a plan really kicks into action. I mean, that's actually the smartest strategy ever. That is your new business strategy, responding to change over following a plan. Now, people organized at Teal absolutely have a plan. More than that, they have a vision. They have an impact they are out to make. And so they're constantly adjusting their sails to be able to get to that impact, however they have to adjust for the wind. We don't know so much what the downside of Teal is yet, but we suspect that it's burned out people. Because the idea of Teal is that Teal wants to help the entire set of adult development levels be healthy, right? Teal is the first one that goes like, yeah, amber, orange, green, all good. If they're fit for purpose, great. So the reason I'm telling you this is just to give you a little bit of an introduction to it, but is enough for you to start thinking, where am I? Where is Agile coming from? And the people who I want to develop, where are they?